Today on Top Shelf Sports, it's March. We'll see if the men's and women's basketball teams are ready for the madness. A Husky represented Team USA on a national stage. We'll tell you more about her, and we'll check in on the baseball team to find out how things are going on the diamond. Top Shelf Sports starts now. Welcome to the newest edition of Top Shelf Sports. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brandon Giese.
And I'm Mike Mitchell. It's been more than an eventful week in the world of NIU athletics.
Yes, it has, Mike. And we've got the MAC championships coming up for both the men's and women's basketball teams, so that's going to be interesting.
Hey, who knows? Maybe NIU will shock the world, win the MAC tournament, and sneak into the NCAA tournament. I'm probably dreaming. It's not going to happen. Let's get right into that men's basketball anyways. The men's basketball team is coming off an atrocious 30-point loss to the Toledo Rockets on Tuesday. Toledo's Trayshawn Fletcher had himself a game, recording a triple-double with 20 points, 11 boards, and 11 assists. The only positive for the Huskies was sophomore guard Eugene German, leading the team with a game-high 27 points along with 4 rebounds. The Huskies are looking to bounce back tonight against the Ball State Cardinals in the regular season finale. Both teams have struggled as of late, losing their last combined 5. Tip-off is set for tonight at 7 p.m. in the Combo.
The women's team was also battling Toledo this week, but they were able to come out victorious. With the win, the Huskies secured a first-round home matchup for the MAC tournament. Junior guard Courtney Woods poured in a game-high 38 points, leading to an 89-79 victory. Senior forward Kelly Smith added 25 points of her own on 8 of 15 shooting. Huskies are welcoming the Western Michigan Broncos to the Combo tomorrow afternoon at 1.
Coming off a huge win over Wright State, the men's tennis team is looking to continue their momentum this weekend. In their last match, NIU took the doubles points to take the 1-0 lead early, and the match followed by a dominating 6-0 singles match victory led by senior Tom Jetterson. The men will look to show their win was not a fluke by facing 2 powerhouses in the Creighton Blue Jays and Nebraska Cornhuskers this weekend in Nebraska.
Wrestling is headed to the MAC championships this weekend with high hopes of qualifying for the NCAA tournament. Some Huskies to look out for are Brock Huckins of the 125 weight class and Bryce Gorman of the 184-pound weight class. Those two have been some of the most consistent grapplers on the mat this season. The MAC tournament starts tomorrow through Sunday in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. You can catch these Huskies on ESPN3.
Speaking of the MAC championship, we were able to catch up with redshirt junior Bryce Gorman to discuss the upcoming matches.
Let's send it over to Top Shelf Sports reporter Tom Burton, who's with Bryce in this week's edition of the Husky Corner.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to the newest edition of the Husky Corner. I'm joined by Bryce Gorman, redshirt senior wrestler. How you doing, Bryce?
Good. How are you?
Good. So obviously you guys got the MAC championships coming up here this weekend. What are your thoughts on the team heading into it and just that in general?
I'm pretty positive about going to the MAC championships this weekend. We've had a good week of training. Guys look good. We look pretty healthy. I've been dealing with some health issues throughout the course of the year and feeling good. So, high hopes for the tournament.
What about your game in particular heading into the tournament? I know you were plus 500 last year and you're like 9-7 I think this year. What are your thoughts on your game?
You can throw that out the window. None of that really matters. I got to make it to the finals at the tournament. So, that's the only thing that's on my mind.
How has Ryan Ludwig helped you guys prepare for this event? Like maybe just prepare you guys throughout the entire season?
He's great. He helps fire us up whenever we need to be fired up. He says the right stuff after practice, and he really gets our minds right. So, I'm fortunate to have Coach Ludwig.
I know he's like really active like in practice and stuff. Is he?
Oh yeah, he's always wrestling with someone. He's 40, so it's pretty amazing the things he can still do with his body. So
a healthy 40.
Oh yeah.
And obviously you guys, you being a redshirt junior, but you guys got a couple freshmen who will likely be going to the MAC championships as well, like Max and Nolan Baker, guys like that. What do you think about them being able to get that experience at such a young age?
Oh, that's good. We have a fairly young team, and we struggled a little bit this year, but I think our thing this year was consistency, and them being in the lineup at such a young age, it's going to help really build them, and in the next couple of years they're going to really make some noise. So it's exciting to see.
So this weekend, obviously, MAC championships. what is your pregame kind of ritual for something like that? Like, do you have any music you like listen to, or any meals you like to eat before the game? How does that work?
My main thing is just trying to not really worry at all, not really think at all, So I just put some music on, rap music, hip hop music most likely. Just kind of zone out and
Definitely.
Just, get ready for my match.
Who do you like? What's your favorite rapper?
I'd have to say Lil Wayne is the best rapper.
Lil Wayne?
Of all time, yep.
Old stuff or new stuff?
Old stuff, definitely. But he's getting a little bit better, but definitely old stuff.
Definitely agree with that. Well, thanks a lot, Bryce. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Guys, that'll do it from the Husky Corner. Let's send it back to the desk.
Women's track and field had a record-setting performance in the Indoor MAC Championships in Bowling Green, Ohio last weekend. The team placed 7th on Saturday with strong individual performances from several participants, including junior jumper Javania White, who set the NIU and MAC triple jump record with a 13.13-meter leap. The Huskies are currently on break as they prepare for their first outdoor track competition this season on March 24th.
Javania White wasn't the only athlete to succeed at the Indoor MAC Championships. I was lucky enough to catch up with one of NIU's bright young stars, Ashley Tutt. Freshman distance runner Ashley Tutt is no stranger to success. In high school, Ashley was known as one of the best in her field. This title has not changed since coming to NIU. Ashley has thrived both at the collegiate and national level as a freshman. On short notice, Ashley Tutt qualified to represent the United States of America.
Yeah, so Coach told me about 2 weeks, we knew very late about it. He's like, I think you can make it, even win the meet. So going in, just trying to qualify even, and just when I knew I made it, I was really happy because I knew I've always wanted to make this team, and just getting there is an incredible experience.
Ashley was the first person to cross the finish line for Team USA in El Salvador. After returning to NIU, Ashley competed in the Indoor MAC Championships and won Freshman of the Year. Her coach, Adrian Myers, sees big things ahead for Ashley.
If she continues to grow and shift upwards as she has already, I think she could be a multiple-time All-American, a multiple-time MAC champion.
While Coach Myers sets major goals for Ashley, she is focused on finishing this year strong. Ashley has major events left on the schedule for track and field, as well as goals for the following cross-country season.
Hopefully to make it to nationals, run a good opener 10K at Stanford, maybe make another U.S. team, and hopefully just, eventually make it to nationals in cross-country with other girls.
Ashley's great success in just her first year on campus leaves her as this week's leader of the pack. Ashley is taking some time off after a hectic competition schedule. Coach Adrian Myers says he plans on Ashley competing in a meet at Stanford University on March 31st.
There may have been a threat of snow last night, but with turf, the softball season continues in full swing. The Huskies traveled this weekend to Carbondale to take part in the SIU tournament. Coming off a disastrous start to the season, the Huskies are looking to turn their season around. The Huskies face a number of tough opponents this weekend, including U of I, Murray State, and the tournament host, the Southern Illinois Salukis. The Huskies are in the last inning of their game currently with U of I down 10-4.
The baseball team is coming off a tough 4-game series against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, where NIU only took 1 game. After being outscored 20-7 in the first 3 games of the series, freshman pitcher Michael Lazowitz continued his dominance, leading to a 5-0 shutout in their lone victory. Huskies are looking to take advantage this weekend as they will face off against the University of Incarnate Word. First pitch is 6:30 tonight in San Antonio, Texas. When we come back, we'll tell you how 2 sisters are continuing to compete together as NIU gymnasts. Squinting at the scoreboard may be a thing of the past. We'll tell you what changes could be coming to the combo.
And we'll put NIU Chicago sports students to the test. Are they bandwagons or are they true fans? Top Shelf Sports continues.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ache than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome to the newest edition of Top Shelf Sports. I'm Brandon Giese.
And I'm Ryan Ostry. NIU Sports had a very busy week, Brandon.
Yes, they did, Ryan, and we're going to get right into all of that with the women's basketball team. The women were once again led by Brisbane native.
Hold up, cut! Come on, man. Brisbane. I've been here for 3 years. Okay, all right, let's try it one more time.
Sorry. All right.
Good?
Yeah, I'll be right. Came up empty against the DePaul Blue Demons Sunday afternoon. The Huskies had a horrible showing as DePaul won all 3 doubles matches. The day didn't get any better as the Huskies dropped all 6 single matches. They will be back on the tennis court tonight at 5 p.m. as the Huskies will take on the Marquette Golden Eagles in Milwaukee.
After a weekend of setting personal records, the gymnastics team is looking to continue its success against Western Michigan Sunday. Ashley Potts tied the 9.95 school record on the bars and tied her career high of 9.8 on the floor. Anna Martucci anchored the event with a 9.925 to tie her career best and the 3rd highest individual floor score at NIU. Martucci was also named MAC Specialist for the 3rd straight week. Wow. Huskies compete Sunday at 2 p.m. in the Convo. NIU gymnasts Anna and Nina Martucci didn't anticipate competing together at the collegiate level. Top Shelf Sports reporter Crystal Megan has more about the Martucci sisters' unlikely journey to Husky gymnastics.
Anna and Nina Martucci didn't plan on being a part of the same college team, but they're glad it worked out that way. Anna signed to NIU in November 2014, while Nina committed in July of 2016 after injuries and a scholarship withdrawal caused her to leave her previous school.
Other schools were looking at her, and NIU, I talked to the coaches here, and they were excited to take her on, so that's where I talked highly of the program and said, hey, this is someone where you can trust and you're not going to have to deal with things like that.
The two sisters are the best of friends now, but growing up, not so much.
We used to fight a lot as little kids, and our mom was always mad at us. But as we got older and into high school, we got a lot closer, and we pretty much started doing everything together.
Though the Martucci sisters may not always compete in the same events, their combined differences make for a well-rounded athlete.
Honestly, I like to tell people we make up one awesome athlete because she's really the bars and vault kid and I'm more of a beam and floor kid.
Despite Anna being the older sister, she looks up to Nina, especially after seeing her little sister conquer the obstacles she's had to face.
Every time she touches equipment, especially after those injuries, it's just times where it's wow, I can't believe I'm related to this person that's so strong and so just passionate about what she does.
They have a little over a year left of competing in collegiate gymnastics together, but there's no doubt these two sisters are teammates for life. For Top Shelf Sports, I'm Crystal Megan.
You can catch the Martucci sisters in their last home meet of the season on Sunday in the Convo.
The Convocation Center is set to undergo some new renovations to their outdated facility. Top Shelf Sports reporter Tom Burton has more from the Convocation Center.
The Convocation Center, a building that welcomes over 215,000 people per year for a variety of events, could undergo some major renovations. Projects to update the scoreboard, video board, and the Nelson Suite were approved at a recent Board of Trustees meeting.
It's kind of we're reaching to the point where we're not comfortable that it'll maintain itself for another year. And if it doesn't, that can have significant impact to the Convocation Center because almost every event, athletic and non-athletic, utilizes that board.
The Convo uses the scoreboard and video board for many events, including being the home of NIU men's and women's basketball teams. And students realize that changes need to be made, particularly to the video board.
It's very low quality, very pixelated. It reminds me of watching a television set from the 1990s. Definitely could be improved.
Cheney added that improving the looks of the Convocation Center is a good idea to present the facility well to a potential naming rights partner, one who they hope to name in May.
It'll definitely tie into that, I think. If we're able to, or when we're able to have the naming rights partner on board, they're going to want, as professional as of appearance as well, and so we definitely don't want to stub our toe out the gate with the first thing being, our video board goes down and we're not able to repair or service it.
The administration...
The scoreboard and video board were built in 2002 and require frequent repairs and maintenance.
Well, the Blackhawks maybe want to puke last night, and the Bulls, they're sure to disgrace themselves lately.
Yeah, but at least we do have baseball coming up, right, Mike?
Oh my God, you're so right.
I'm so excited to see the Cubs this year and what they have to offer. And we also have Scott Nickel over in the Sports Hub to fill us in on all of that coming up.
Thanks, fellas. Yahoo Sports released an article last week confirming the worst kept secret in all of sports, that college basketball players are being paid to play. The NCAA is under scrutiny after players and coaches from as few as 20 Division I programs were identified by the FBI for violation of recruiting rules. This included University of Arizona head coach Sean Miller. According to Yahoo, Miller denied ever breaking any recruiting violation rules, but he admitted to having a conversation with an unnamed player who was soliciting money, but that player did not end up attending the university. This appears to be just the beginning in what could be a major landscape change for collegiate sports, basketball included. Well, after that depressing news, let's get into the best this year 3 weeks in all of college athletics. The majority of conference tournaments began this week, with the exception of the MAC and a few others. This is when all you self-proclaimed bracketologists will begin to pick your favorites for the NCAA tourney based on who gets hot this week. Or maybe that's just me. The tournament selection show isn't until March 11th, which means most conferences will have a week off before playing again. We'll see if the layoff will have a negative effect on teams or if the rest will help. Either way, gear up because March has arrived. Speaking of gearing up, the MLB season is right around the corner as spring training began this week. Just 1 week in, and the crosstown rivals have already met. The White Sox project to be in more of a building season that hopes to see their impressive collection of young talent move up the farm system and into the majors. The Cubs were set to unveil their big free agency signing Yu Darvish Thursday, but he was scratched due to a stomach virus. With the Darvish signing, the Cubs have their best starting rotation since 2004 as they boast 3 pitchers who were opening day starters on their respective team last season. Baseball is basically back, and the madness has arrived. What a fantastic time of year. Unfortunately for the Chicago Bulls, March does not project to be as fantastic, as they were looking to end a 4-game skid Tuesday in Charlotte. Rookie sensation Lauri Markkanen got things going in the first quarter after splashing in a 3, but Hornets forward Marvin Williams said not so fast as he soars in for a monster one-handed flush. Veteran Nicholas Batum nails a contested 3 over Denzel Valentine in the second half to cap off a 118-103 Hornets victory. The Bulls are looking to end this drought when they play the Dallas Mavericks at 7 tonight at the Madhouse. With the recent struggles of Chicago sports, our own Emily LaRusso went on campus to see if fans still remember the recent glory days of Windy City athletics.
Thanks, Scott. It's been a slow week in Chicago sports, so I'm here on campus testing students' knowledge on their favorite Chicago sports teams. Let's go see how much they know. Okay, so who was the last Chicago Bull to win an MVP?
I believe it was Derrick Rose.
Do you know what year?
Was it 2012?
2011, that was close.
Derrick Rose.
Do you know what year?
2012.
11.
Michael Jordan.
No, Derrick Rose. It's okay. Number 2, when was the last time the Chicago White Sox won the World Series?
2005.
There you go.
Was it 2004?
2005. 2005. There you go.
2005.
Nice. Okay. Number 3, what was the Cubs' record in their 2016 season?
I think it was like 120 something to something else, but I'm not.
It was 103 to 58.
I don't know that one.
103 and 58.
116. What is it? 116.
103.
103.
Yeah, 103 and 58. And then number 4, who was the coach of the Chicago Bears in 1985? When they won.
Was it Ditka?
Yeah, you're right.
Mike Ditka.
Yes. And then last, how many Stanley Cups have the Chicago Blackhawks won in the last decade?
Is it 5?
3.
4.
3.
3.
3. What years?
10, 15, and 13.
Yeah, nice. Overall, I think the NIU students did a pretty solid job, but as a White Sox fan, I think they need to brush up just a little bit on their trivia. Back to you at the desk, Scott.
It appears Bruce Springsteen might be the only one who remembers those glory days. But I'm sure Blackhawks fans are trying to reminisce because they have been nothing short of disappointing this season. The Hawks actually got off to a good start last night against San Jose by taking a 1-0 lead early in the first period, but that did not last long. The Sharks completely took over the game by scoring 7 unanswered goals. That escalated quickly. The Hawks lose 7-2, and it appears they have mailed in the rest of their season. It will be interesting to see what moves Stan Bowman and company make this offseason. The Hawks continue their West Coast trip Saturday afternoon against the Los Angeles Kings. That's going to do it for this week in the Sports Hub. Remember to get those brackets ready. Back to you, Mike and Brandon.
After the break, we'll head to the Octagon with the always exciting David Craighead to find out what's happening in the world of UFC.
And we'll show you our jam-packed top 5 plays of the week that you're sure not going to want to miss. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the newest edition of Top Shelf Sports. I'm Brandon Giese.
And I'm Ryan Ostry. NIU Sports had a very busy week, Brandon.
Yes, they did, Ryan, and we're going to get right into all of that with the women's basketball team. The women were once again led by Brisbane native Courtney Woods. Huskie started off hot as Woods poured in a career high of 27.
God! Get out of here! I think I had 27 points my freshman year.
Okay.
God, do it myself.
Are you kidding me? Sorry about that, Courtney.
Welcome to the newest edition of Top Shelf Sports. I am Courtney Woods.
And I'm Ryan Ostry. NIU Sports had a very busy week, Courtney.
Yes, they did. We're going to get right into it with the women's basketball team.
Mixed martial arts has an exciting matchup this week. Our own King of Cool has the rundown.
That's right. David Ice Cold Craighead, with his one-of-a-kind voice, is in the corner with Hot and Ready.
Thanks, guys. First, last week in mixed martial arts, Josh Emmett took on Jeremy Stevens. Later this week, the women's featherweight title is on the line in a matchup between current champ Chris Cyborg and contender Yana Kunitskaya on UFC pay-per-view. In the co-main event of the night, the legend Frankie Edgar fights Brian Ortega. We found out in the second round of the showdown between Emmett and Stevens who could hit the hardest. In the first round, the fight went poorly for Josh Stevens, getting knocked down flat on his butt by Emmett's hook. The second round was a reversal of fortune for Stevens, whose turn it was to knock Emmett down with the left hook. Controversially, Stevens threw an illegal knee intended to crush Emmett's face when his hands were still touching the mat. Stevens also may have thrown illegal elbows to the back of Emmett's head. Nevertheless, the fight was called in Stevens' favor for a knockout win. Chris Cyborg won her title belt in a fight against Holly Holmes back in December that went to a round 5 decision. This time, Cyborg will fight another former champion. Kunitskaya has held 4 various championships outside of the UFC and moves up from the 135-pound division to fight for the women's featherweight title. Frankie Edgar fights Brian Ortega in the co-main event featherweight matchup this weekend on UFC pay-per-view. Frankie Edgar is widely regarded as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the UFC. He's known for his incredible wrestling and endurance. He is the gatekeeper to the featherweight title fight. Ortega has been climbing the ranks of the division with 4 straight wins. Frankie Edgar has not lost a non-title fight since 2008. That's 18 fights ago. The odds are currently -160 for Edgar, making him the favorite, and +126 for Ortega, making him the underdog. Expect Edgar to pull out the win by decision. Back to you, Brandon and Mike.
Many players have been on the shelf due to injury so far, Brandon.
Yes, they have, Mike. Players like Kawhi Leonard, Gordon Hayward made little to no contribution in the fantasy world due to that injury bug.
Couldn't have predicted that.
Yeah, but we do have Bea Garcia here to tell us more on how to make that final fantasy push.
Hopefully she's going to save my fantasy season.
Thanks, guys. We're another week closer to the fantasy basketball playoffs. I'm going to give you the keys to make sure your team doesn't have a late season drop-off. Let's start off with the point guard spot. Spurs guard DeJounte Murray has seen an increase in minutes since taking over San Antonio's starting spot, and in return has increased his production. Murray has become a focal point in the Spurs offense as he has attempted double-digit shot attempts in 5 of the last 6 games while still putting up significant numbers across the score sheet. Look for Murray to stay aggressive as the Spurs look to hold on to home court advantage in a tight Western Conference playoff race. Moving over to the 2-guard spot, we have Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics. Since returning from an 11-game absence, Smart has seen no restriction to his playing time and continues to be Boston's best wing defender. Despite being on one of the best teams all season, Smart is owned in only 23% of leagues. Look for him to continue to put up solid numbers in steals and assists as the Celtics fight for the top seed in the East. Another player to look out for is Indiana Pacers forward Lance Will-Make-You-Dance Stevenson. With the Pacers in the middle of the playoff standings, they will look for more than Stevenson's wild antics to secure their spot in this postseason. Over the last month, Stevenson has sparked the Pacers bench and seen an increased role while putting up good numbers in multiple categories. While Lance isn't LeBron or Durant, he could be the player to push your team over the competition. We'll head to the Big Apple with my power forward to keep an eye on. Michael Beasley of the New York Knicks has seen more playing time since Kristaps Porzingis went down with a season-ending ACL injury. As a result, he has seen an increase in his scoring and rebounding numbers. With the Knicks not in the playoff picture and Beasley coming to the end of a 1-year contract, he's definitely someone to look out for. Another big guy to watch is Utah Jazz center Derek Favors. While the Jazz shuffle their wing play, Favors remains a constant in their lineup due to his strong rebounding numbers. Utah is looking to squeeze their way into the playoffs, and they'll need Favors to help get them there with his strong post play. My sleeper of the week is Jabari Parker of the Milwaukee Bucks. Parker has recently returned from an ACL injury, making him a risky pickup. He's owned in 58% of leagues, but expect that number to increase as the Bucks loosen the grips on his minutes restriction. Parker will need to be a key contributor as Milwaukee fights for playoff positioning. Well, that's all for your top fantasy players. Hopefully my picks help your team. I'm Bea Garcia. Now let's send it back to the desk.
USA! 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 Woo! We finished in 4th, Mike. Relax. Let's toss it over to Nicole Ryan for the final edition of the Winner's Circle.
Thanks, guys. After 2 weeks of competition, the 2018 Winter Games came to a close last Sunday. Several athletes made Olympic history in Pyeongchang, so let's jump right in. The final medal count is in, and Norway blew away the competition with 39 medals. Germany takes second with 31, and Canada comes in third with 29. And as Brandon said, the U.S. finished in 4th with 23 medals. 12 of those 23 medals awarded in Pyeongchang were earned by female athletes. This is the first time in 20 years that women have brought home more medals than their male teammates. The men's curling team brought home the first ever American gold medal in the sport, and the team didn't just top the podium. Their opponent, Sweden, actually conceded the game after captain John Schuster knocked both of Sweden's rocks out of the house, putting the Americans up by 5. Schuster was cut from USA Curling after finishing last in 2010 and next to last in 2014, forcing him to create his own team. A slight mishap occurred during the medal ceremony when the men's team was accidentally awarded the women's curling medals on accident. Austrian Anna Gasser has made Olympic history by being the first gold medalist in women's snowboard big air. This is the first Winter Games where women competed in the event. Gasser was second heading into the finals, but managed to edge out American Jamie Anderson for the win. Anderson's second-place finish earns her a prestigious spot as one of only 3 three-time Olympic snowboard medalists. For the first time since 1998, the gold and silver medals in women's figure skating have been awarded to the same country. Alina Zagatova and Yevgenia Medvedeva of Russia took the top 2 spots on the podium, with Canadian Caitlin Osmond placing 3rd. The Americans were looking to rebound after poor performances in the short program. Brady Tennell placed the highest out of the Americans, coming in 9th, followed by Mirai Nagasu in 10th and Karen Chen in 11th. After winning gold in an alpine skiing event earlier in the games, snowboarder Esther Ledeska finished at the top of the podium in snowboard parallel slalom. The Czech athlete narrowly missed becoming the first woman to medal in different sports in a single Olympic Games. Jorien Termors of the Netherlands earned that title while Ledeska was waiting to compete in snowboarding. but Ledeska bested Terramores to win her second gold. After breaking his neck, an Austrian snowboarder is considering a return. Marcus Scherer lost control in the air on his final jump of the snowboard cross quarterfinals last week. Scherer fractured the fifth vertebrae in his neck and underwent surgery 4 days after the crash. Despite the doping charges at the Pyeongchang Olympics, the Russian Olympic Committee has been reinstated. Russia was banned from earning medals in this games due to a state-backed doping program from the 2014 Sochi Olympics. If they admitted to the program, the ROC would have been allowed to represent themselves, but Russia denied and continues to deny its existence. Although Russia has been reinstated for the 2020 Games in Tokyo, they were not able to march under their own flag during the closing ceremonies. And looking forward to the Summer Games, the mascot for the 2020 Olympics have been revealed. Children at Japanese schools chose their favorites from a short list of 3 sets of designs. The winner, Ryo Taniguchi, strove to combine traditional values with futuristic looks. And that's all for the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. From the Winner's Circle, I'm Nicole Ryan. Brandon and Mike, back to you.
Thanks, Nicole. The American athletes failed to meet the U.S. Olympic Committee goal of 37 medals.
Hopefully the athletes will rebound in Tokyo. Well, it is about that time for my favorite segment.
My favorite time of the day.
The top 5 plays, Mike.
And I'll get it started. Let's go. At number 5, we head out to spring training in Florida. Tony Kemp with a web gem of a catch. A way to start spring training in a way that he might have just got himself a spot on their roster. Twins do up winning a meaningless game of spring training 4-2.
At number 4, Bulls forward Lauri Markkanen finds himself on the wrong end of a top 5 play as Jarrett Allen throws down a nasty dunk in Lauri's face. Nets win this one 104-87.
At number 3, we pick things up in Cleveland with the man, the myth, the legend, LeBron James, with a filthy behind-the-back dribble, and you can count the bucket. Sixers do end up getting the last laugh, though, 108-97.
At number 2, it is indeed March, and the madness has just begun. Joel Berry hits a 3 to tie the game, but Miami isn't done yet. Jaquan Newton wins this one for the Hurricanes with a miracle heave at the buzzer, 91-88.
Wait, we have a better play than that? Drum roll, please. The play you've all been waiting for, the number 1 play of the day. James Harden gives Wesley Johnson one of the most disrespectful crossovers I have ever seen, and buries the 3-pointer. The Clippers lose on top of this 105-92. Wow, Brandon, shades of Allen Iverson coming out right there.
Yeah, you know, Wesley Johnson might not be Michael Jordan, but they both were disrespected in a similar way.
I can remember Allen Iverson doing that to Jordan. That was crazy.
It was crazy.
Top Shelf Sports is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University.
For more on Top Shelf Sports, look us up on and like us on Facebook. Be on the lookout for our various podcasts on SoundCloud. And you can also check out our Twitter site at topshelf_NIU to keep up with the latest sports content.
We want to thank you all for joining us, and as always, go Huskies!